All right, so look, I'm just going to be straight with you right out of the gate. Some turbo engines? Totally fine. You can drive them for years, no problems. But some of these engines out here will literally destroy themselves before you even hit 100,000 miles, and then hand you a repair bill you're not going to be happy about. And here's the thing that gets me every single time. They look identical on the window sticker. Same horsepower, same fuel economy numbers. You'd never know the difference just looking at it. And honestly, the salesperson at the dealership can't tell you either, because nobody trained them to know. But Consumer Reports knows, nhtsa knows, and after you watch this video, you're going to know too. I went through Consumer Reports 2026 reliability data, dug into the nhtsa recall database, looked at class action lawsuits, read through thousands of real owner complaints, and the pattern is it's right there. You can't ignore it. Consumer Reports found that turbocharged engines are 67% more likely to have problems than naturally aspirated engines. 67%. 18 car models just lost their Consumer Reports recommendation, and most of it comes back to turbo reliability issues. And since 2015, over 4.3 million engines have been recalled in this country. A big chunk of those tied directly to turbo failures. That's not my opinion. Those are the actual numbers. So, here's what we're covering today. 5 specific turbo engines you need to stay away from in 2026, with the exact recall numbers. 2 turbo engines that actually held up and passed the reliability test. All right, let's get into it. Before we get to the list, there's one thing you really need to understand, because it explains how we even got here in the first place. The reason 97% of new cars sold in 2026 have a turbocharged engine? It has nothing to do with making your car better. Nothing. It happened because of government fuel economy mandates, specifically the EPA's CAFE standards, that basically forced automakers to downsize their engines, and then they bolted a turbocharger on to make up for the power they lost by going smaller. Think about it. 10 years ago, the Toyota Camry had a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine. Proven, simple, reliable. Today, turbocharged. The F-150 used to have a V8. Now it's the EcoBoost Turbo. GM's Silverado literally replaced a proven 5.3-liter V8 with a brand new turbocharged 4-cylinder. The numbers on paper look the same, but a turbocharger adds real complexity, real heat, and real failure points that a naturally aspirated engine just doesn't have. And some manufacturers actually engineered around that properly. Others cut corners and cashed your warranty check. That difference is exactly what we're going to break down. Okay, now here's the science. And I'm keeping this simple because you don't need to be a mechanic to get this. A turbocharger uses the exhaust gases from your engine to spin a turbine at up to 300,000 revolutions per minute. That forces compressed air into the engine, which is how you get more power out of a smaller engine. The only thing keeping that turbine from destroying itself is your engine oil, and that creates 3 very specific ways it can go wrong. Problem number 1, heat damage. That turbine is running at temperatures up to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. When you park a hot turbo car and just shut it off, the oil stops circulating, but the turbo is still sitting there scorching hot. The oil inside bakes into hard deposits on the turbo bearing. Every single time you do that without letting the engine cool down, those deposits build up a little more. Eventually they block oil flow and the turbo starts failing from the inside out. Slowly, quietly, until one day it doesn't. Problem number 2, oil starvation. The turbo bearing needs a constant supply of clean, fresh oil. Old oil, degraded oil, oil that's just a little low. Any of those things mean the bearing is running without proper lubrication. Turbo rebuild specialists will tell you this is the number 1 cause of turbo failure. Not age, not mileage, oil. That's it. Problem number 3, carbon buildup. Modern turbocharged engines use direct fuel injection, which means fuel gets sprayed directly into the cylinder and bypasses the intake valves entirely. So those valves never get fuel washing over them like they used to. Carbon deposits build up on the back of the valves over time. You end up with restricted airflow, misfires, rough idle, and eventually a cleaning job that some owners are dealing with as early as 60,000 miles. Now here's the key point. Not all turbo engines deal with these problems the same way. Some manufacturers actually engineered real solutions. Others just ignored it and kept collecting your warranty money. Let's talk about the ones who ignored it first. 5 engines. Real data. Real recall numbers. Let's count them down, starting at 5. Number 5, the GM 2.7-liter Turbomax. This is the engine GM decided to put in the Silverado and Sierra to replace, I'll say it again, their proven 5.3-liter V8. What owners are reporting, and what nhtsa complaint specifically documents, is excessive oil consumption. We're talking 1 quart of oil just gone every 1,000 miles. That is not a minor quirk. That is your turbo running low on the one thing it absolutely cannot afford to run low on. Consumer Reports flags this engine as below average reliability. And here's the thing, this engine has only been in trucks for 3 years. There isn't enough long-term real-world data yet to know how it holds up over time. And when you don't have data on an engine, that is itself a red flag. If you want a Silverado or Sierra, spend the extra money and get the proven 5.3-liter V8. Don't gamble your money on an unproven engine in a truck that's going to see real work. Number 4, the Hyundai and Kia 1.6-liter Gamma turbocharged engine. This one shows up across a bunch of Hyundai and Kia models from the 2013 to 2019 model years. nhtsa recalls were issued for piston ring failures causing excessive oil consumption and engine seizure. A class action lawsuit got filed, and in the worst cases, this failure pattern led to a fire risk. Oil gets into the combustion chamber, builds up on the exhaust system, and under the right conditions, it ignites. If you're shopping for a used Hyundai or Kia from this era, you need to run that VIN through the nhtsa recall database before you hand anyone a single dollar. The link is in the description. Don't skip that step. Number 3, the Volkswagen and Audi EA888 2.0-liter turbo. This engine is basically inside every VW and Audi sold in the US. The Jetta, Tiguan, Golf, Audi A4, Audi Q5, all of them. The documented problems are timing chain failures, high-pressure fuel pump failures, and carbon buildup so bad that some owners need a full intake valve cleaning. They call it a walnut blast, as early as 60,000 miles. A class action lawsuit was filed specifically over the timing chain issue in the 2.0 TTSI variant, and Consumer Reports rates Volkswagen's powertrain reliability at 2 out of 5 stars. Not 2 out of 10, 2 out of 5. That is one of the worst powertrain reliability scores in the entire industry. Now look, if one of these has been properly maintained, oil changes done on time, low mileage, clean service history, it can be okay. But the moment there's any gap in that service history, you are literally buying someone else's problem. Number 2, the Ford 1.5-liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder. This one's in the Ford Escape, Ford Fusion, and Ford Bronco Sport. This engine has a documented defect where engine coolant gets into the cylinders. What that actually means in practice, coolant enters the combustion chamber. The engine can hydrolock and stall, including at highway speed. In the most serious documented cases, this failure created a fire risk. Class action lawsuits were filed against Ford. The 2015 through 2018 model years are the most heavily affected. If someone is trying to sell you a used Escape, Fusion, or Bronco Sport with this engine, know exactly what you're dealing with before you sign anything. And the number 1 engine on the avoid list in 2026 is Toyota. The 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 in the Tundra and Lexus LX. I know what you're thinking right now. This is Toyota, the company that literally built its whole reputation on reliability. The brand your parents told you to always buy. The safe choice. And I want to be completely clear here. I am not saying Toyota as a company is unreliable. I'm telling you specifically about this one engine. In November 2024, Toyota recalled 105,000 vehicles for low oil pressure warnings. 1 month later, December 2024, Toyota issued a second recall, this one covering 127,000 Tundras and Lexus LX SUVs for crankshaft bearing failure risk. 2 separate recalls, 232,000 vehicles in 60 days, and nhtsa has over 3,000 engine complaints on file for this specific engine family. The Toyota badge does not protect you from this engine. Okay, that was the bad news. Now let's talk about the good news. And there genuinely is good news here. 2 turbocharged engines have actually earned a strong reliability reputation, and it's backed by real data. Number 1, the BMW B58 3.0-liter inline-6 turbo. This engine is in the BMW 3 Series, 5 Series, X3, and X5. And for anybody who doesn't know, it's also the engine sitting under the hood of the Toyota GR Supra. BMW makes it, not Toyota. Virtually zero significant recalls, virtually no nhtsa complaints. Consumer Reports consistently ranks it as one of the most reliable modern turbocharged engines available. Independent owner surveys back that up across multiple years and high mileage use. The honest caveat? It's in BMWs, which means servicing and parts cost more than a Honda or Toyota. That's just reality. But the engine itself, the engineering, the reliability track record, is genuinely proven. If you can handle BMW ownership costs, the B58 is one of the safest turbocharged engines you can buy. Full stop. Number 2. Honda's 1.5-liter VTEC Turbo. This is the engine in the Civic, CR-V, and HR-V, and you can get one for under $28,000. Consumer Reports rates Honda above average for reliability, and this engine is a big part of why. Now, there is one known issue worth being upfront about. In cold climates, specifically Canada and the northern U.S., some 2016 to 2018 Civic and CR-V owners reported gasoline mixing into the engine oil under specific short-trip, cold-weather driving conditions. Honda put out software updates and technical service bulletins to address it. It's largely taken care of on 2019 and newer models. If you're in Texas, Florida, Arizona, California, honestly, a non-issue. If you're somewhere cold, just buy 2019 or newer, and you're covered. For the money, for the reliability data, for long-term ownership, Honda's 1.5-liter turbo in a 2019 or newer model is genuinely the best value turbocharged engine you can get in an affordable car right now. So, back to the question you actually clicked on this video for. Are turbo engines really reliable in 2026? Here's my straight answer. Turbo engines are not automatically bad, but they are more complex, they run hotter, and they are way less forgiving of missed maintenance than a naturally aspirated engine. The brand name on the hood cannot protect you from an engine that was poorly engineered or poorly maintained. The data can, and now you've got it. Hey, if you got even one thing out of this video that you didn't know before you clicked, hit the like button. It literally costs you nothing, and it genuinely helps this channel reach more car buyers who need this information before they sign the wrong deal. If you're new here, subscribe. This channel covers what dealers and manufacturers don't want you knowing about the cars they're selling you every single week. And drop your car in the comments. Tell me if it's turbo or naturally aspirated, and whether you've had any issues with it. I read every comment. I respond to them too. See you in the next one.